The rain hit the leaves like soft drum beats as the sky above turned dark and angry. Thunder rolled across the forest and lightning flashed in sharp white lines. Alex ran through the thick alien jungle, his boots slipping on the wet moss. His team had landed on the planet Valora Prime just this morning, but everything had gone wrong since then. The team was here to study the strange plants and wildlife. Valora Prime was beautiful but wild. Giant trees with glowing fruit stretched up to the clouds. Strange bird-like creatures flew overhead. The air smelled like wet leaves and unknown flowers. But when the storm rolled in, everyone scrambled to get back to the ship. In the chaos, Alex got separated. His comms device buzzed, but the signal was too weak. "Command? Can anyone hear me?" he said, pressing the side of his helmet. Only static replied. Alex sighed and kept walking. He needed to find shelter before the rain got worse. The trees were tall enough to block some of the rain, but the jungle floor was uneven and full of roots. He held his small scanner in one hand and a flashlight in the other. Suddenly he heard a sharp cry. It came from deeper in the jungle, high-pitched and full of fear. Alex froze. That wasn't an animal. That was a person. He moved quickly toward the sound. Branches slapped against his arms as he pushed through the brush. The flashlight flickered, then steadied. After a few seconds, he saw something up ahead. A tall, blue-skinned alien girl was struggling on the ground. A huge snake-like creature was wrapped tightly around her body, its thick coils squeezing her chest and legs. The creature's scales were dark green, almost black, and shimmered in the rain. Its mouth was open, hissing, and its yellow eyes were locked onto its prey. Alex didn't even think. He dropped his scanner and ran toward them. "Hang on," he shouted. The alien girl looked up at him, her eyes wide with shock. Alex reached for his survival knife. He leaped forward and slashed at the snake's back. The blade cut into the thick skin, but not very deep. The creature hissed and tightened, its grip on the girl. "Let her go," Alex yelled. He kept attacking, aiming for the same spot again and again. The snake finally turned, distracted by the human who dared to fight it. That gave the girl just enough time to move her arm. She reached into a pouch at her side and pulled out a small stick. No, a weapon. She pressed a button and it lit up with energy. With one strong move, she stabbed it into the snake's body. The creature let out a loud shriek and jerked away. The snake released her and slithered off into the shadows, disappearing into the thick jungle. Both of them fell to the ground, gasping for air. Alex turned to her. "Are you okay?" She nodded slowly, still catching her breath. Her long hair was stuck to her face, and her purple eyes were sharp but grateful. "You saved me," she said, her voice soft and accented. "You were in trouble," Alex replied, smiling gently. "I couldn't just walk away." The alien girl sat up slowly. Her clothes were torn at the edges and bruises were forming where the snake had wrapped around her. Alex took off his jacket and handed it to her. "Here, it's not much, but it's dry." She looked at him for a moment, studying his face. Then she took the jacket and nodded. "My name is Miari," she said. "Alex," he replied. "Explorer and part-time snake fighter, I guess." Miari gave a small laugh. "Why were you out here alone?" Alex asked. "My people live nearby," she said. "I was taking the trial of strength. It's a tradition. I had to survive a night in the jungle and face a trial beast. I was not supposed to get help." Alex raised an eyebrow. "That snake was your test?" "Yes," she said. "Now, the trial is broken. I have failed." Alex frowned. "You didn't fail. You're alive. That counts for something." But Miari didn't look convinced. She stood slowly, testing her legs. Alex helped her stay balanced. The rain was starting to slow, but the jungle was still soaked. "We should find shelter," Alex said. Miari nodded again, but her eyes were distant. She wasn't just thinking about the danger. They were full of something deeper. Shame? Worry? Alex didn't press her. They would have time to talk later. As they walked side by side, deeper into the jungle, Neither of them knew that this meeting was only the beginning. Valora Prime had many secrets, and one of them was about to change both their lives. The jungle around them was still and wet. Leaves dripped with water, and the smell of rain and soil filled the air. Alex and Mayari walked through the muddy path, looking for a safe place to rest. The storm had passed, but the sky was still cloudy and gray. Alex kept glancing at Mayari. She walked slowly, holding his jacket tightly around her shoulders. Her steps were light but careful, as if her pride was heavier than her body. Alex noticed the bruises on her arms and legs where the giant snake had squeezed her. Even though she didn't complain, her face showed pain. "Do you want to rest?" Alex asked gently. She shook her head. "Not yet. We must keep moving. There is a dry cave not far from here." They kept walking. As they moved deeper into the forest, the sounds of alien birds returned. Brightly colored creatures flew overhead, chirping in strange melodies. It was almost peaceful again. After a short walk, they found the cave. It was hidden behind a curtain of vines, almost invisible, unless someone knew it was there. Mayari pushed the vines aside and stepped in first. Alex followed, shining his flashlight on the rocky walls. The inside was wide enough for 2 people, with a small dry area at the back. "This will be safe," Mayari said, sitting down slowly. She placed her energy rod beside her and closed her eyes for a moment. Alex sat across from her and took off his wet boots. "Thank you again," she said after a moment. Alex looked up. "You're welcome." "I did not expect anyone to come," she added. "You could have ignored me. You could have kept walking." "I don't leave people behind," Alex replied. "Where I come from, we help each other. It doesn't matter if you're human or not." Mayari looked at him closely. Her purple eyes were calm but curious. "You are different from the others." "I've seen," Alex smiled. "I hear that a lot." For a while, they sat in silence, listening to the rain dripping outside the cave. Then Mayari spoke again. "The snake that attacked me was not just any creature," she said. "It is called the Coil Slayer. Only those strong enough to defeat it are allowed to become protectors in my tribe." Alex nodded slowly. "That's a serious test." "I trained for months," she said. "I knew it would be hard, but I never thought I'd need saving." "You still fought back. You didn't give up," Alex said. "That counts for something." Mayari looked down. "Not to my people. Honor is everything. If they learn I was helped by an outsider, I may not be allowed to finish my rite." Alex was quiet for a moment. "Is there a way to fix it?" She thought carefully. "Maybe. In my culture, strength is not just about muscle. It is also about will, courage, and control. If I can prove I am stronger than you, the one who saved me, they might accept it." Alex blinked. "Wait, stronger than me? How?" Mayari stood up. "There is a way, but first we must rest." Alex chuckled nervously. "This is going to be interesting." He leaned back against the wall, trying to relax. The air inside the cave was warm and quiet. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting his body rest. Mayari, however, stayed awake. She sat by the entrance, watching the jungle. Her sharp ears listened for danger while her mind was full of thoughts. Alex had saved her life. That could not be ignored. But in her world, saving someone meant more than just help. It meant balance, had to be restored. Back in her tribe, her people believed that all things should be equal. If you receive help, you must return it. If you are saved, you must prove your own strength in return. It was not about pride. It was about honor and respect. She looked at Alex again. He was calm, breathing slowly. His face showed kindness, not weakness. She could see now that humans were not like the stories told by her elders. This one was brave, smart, and unafraid to face danger for a stranger. She made a quiet promise to herself. She would not let this moment define her as weak. Tomorrow she would prove she was worthy, not just for her tribe, but for herself, and maybe, just maybe, This human would understand what that meant. The morning sun filtered through the leaves outside the cave, casting soft green light across the stone floor. Birds chirped again in the trees, and the storm from the night before was now only a memory. The forest felt peaceful, but tension still lingered inside the small shelter. Alex opened his eyes and sat up, stretching his arms. Miari was already awake, standing near the entrance. She looked focused, her eyes scanning the jungle as if waiting for something, or preparing for something. "Morning," Alex said. Miari turned to him and gave a short nod. "You rested well?" "Better than I thought," he replied. "Thanks to this cave, and to you keeping watch. You saved me. It was fair I watched over you while you slept," she said simply. Alex smiled. "I guess we're even now." But Miari didn't smile back. "No," she said. "Not yet." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Still thinking about the trial?" Miari walked into the cave and sat across from him. "In my culture, when someone fails the trial of strength, they are not allowed to become a guardian. I trained hard for this moment. I knew the risks, but I wanted to prove I was ready." "You were brave," Alex said. "That snake was no joke." "But I was saved," she said quietly. "I didn't defeat the beast on my own. That means the trial remains incomplete. My people will not accept it." Alex looked down, unsure what to say. He didn't want her to feel shame for surviving. To him, life was always more important than tradition. But he also understood that cultures were different, and honor could mean many things. "So, what happens now?" he asked. "There is an old way," Miari said slowly. "Rare but still accepted. If I can show I'm stronger than the one who helped me, the balance is restored. The trial is considered complete." Alex blinked. "Stronger than me?" "Yes." He gave a short laugh. "I'm not a warrior, I just reacted. You're probably stronger than me already." "It's not about hurting you," she explained. "It's about proving control. Strength of body and mind. There is a tradition, a challenge we call the binding coil. A native snake is used. One controls it, the other must stay calm while being tested." Alex raised both hands. "Wait, let me get this straight. You want to use another snake?" "Yes," she said calmly. "But this one is smaller. It is not deadly. The purpose is symbolic. I must guide it, wrap it around you, and show I can control it without harm. That will prove I have strength and discipline." He thought for a moment. "And I'm the test subject?" "Yes," she said. "You only have to trust me." Alex gave a slow breath. "Well, you trusted me when I ran in with a knife. I guess it's my turn." Miari stood. "We must find the correct type of snake. I know where they live." Together they left the cave and moved through the jungle. The path was quieter than before. Miari moved with confidence, her steps light but sure. Alex followed her, still unsure what he had gotten himself into. They stopped near a large tree with silver bark. Miari knelt beside a small bush with round red leaves. "This is it," she said. "The snakes sleep near these plants." Alex waited as she gently moved the leaves aside. A moment later, she pulled out a coiled snake no thicker than her wrist. Its skin was smooth and dark brown, with light golden lines across its body. "Turi," creature didn't hiss or strike. It wrapped gently around her arm like a ribbon. "This one is calm," she said. "It will do." Alex stared at the creature. "Are you sure it's safe?" "It only responds to fear or sudden movement." "Stay calm and you will be fine." Back at the cave, they sat again. Miari looked at him and Alex nodded. "Let's do it." She placed the snake gently on his shoulders. It began to move, slowly curling around his chest and arms. Alex's heart raced, but he kept his breathing steady. Miari whispered in her own language as she guided the snake's path with her fingers. The creature obeyed her touch, never squeezing too hard, never tightening beyond comfort. Minutes passed. Then finally, She removed it. The test was complete. You did not move, she said. You remained calm. And you controlled it without force, Alex added. She looked at him with quiet pride. The ritual is done. Alex gave a small smile. So what happens now? Now, Miari said, I can return to my people. I have something to show them. The soft wind moved through the trees as Alex and Miari walked back through the jungle. The morning light was brighter now, shining through the leaves and warming the damp ground. Birds chirped above, and small creatures ran through the undergrowth. The storm from the night before felt far away. Miari held her head high. Her steps were stronger, more sure. The test was complete, and she had passed it, not with violence but with control. Alex walked beside her, still thinking about the strange ritual. It had felt unusual but meaningful. Are you nervous about going back? He asked. Miari looked ahead. A little. My people respect strength, but they also watch closely. If I show weakness, they will not accept me. You didn't look weak to me, Alex said. You saved me from that snake just as much as I saved you. She gave a small smile. That may help them understand. They walked for almost an hour before the jungle began to open. Tall trees gave way to wide fields of tall grass, and in the distance small dome-shaped huts stood in a circle. A group of blue-skinned people moved around the area. Some worked, others trained with weapons, and a few noticed Miari and Alex. As they approached, a loud horn echoed across the field. Miari stopped walking. That means someone has returned from a trial. The nearest warriors turned, their eyes locked onto Miari, and then onto the human beside her. Confused whispers began to spread. One of the older women stepped forward. She had silver lines on her face and carried a long staff. Her voice was clear. Miari, you return. Miari bowed her head. Yes, Elder Vina. I have completed the trial. Elder Vina's eyes narrowed. Yet you bring an outsider. I was tested by the Coil Slayer, Miari explained. I was caught, but I broke free. I was helped, but I restored the balance. You admit help? The elder asked sharply. Yes, Miari said firmly. But I followed the ancient law. I faced the binding coil and proved my control. The elder's face stayed hard. Was it guided? Miari nodded. Yes, witnessed and completed with this human. The crowd grew larger. Warriors, elders, and even younglings came forward to listen. Miari held up her hand and showed a mark on her wrist, made by the ritual coil during the binding. It was faint but clear. Another elder stepped forward. If this is true, the trial stands, but the outsider must speak. All eyes turned to Alex. He took a small step forward and cleared his throat. I'm Alex. I didn't mean to interrupt her trial. I was just walking through the forest when I heard her call. I helped her, but she helped me too, and later, she showed me what strength and calm really look like. The crowd murmured. Elder Vina studied his face, then looked back at Miari. You know what this means? Miari nodded. Yes. I request the honor display. A warrior stepped forward. She asks for judgment through demonstration. The crowd opened a circle. Miari turned to Alex. Will you stand with me once more? He gave a small nod. Let's do it. In the center of the circle, Miari took her place. Alex stood beside her. One of the younglings brought forward another ritual snake, the same harmless kind. It was placed on a stone in front of them. Miari stepped forward and let the snake coil around her arm. She stood tall and calm, her face peaceful. Then she guided the snake toward Alex, who let it wrap gently across his shoulders again. Just like before, she controlled the movement. The crowd watched silently. After a few minutes, the snake uncoiled and slithered back to the stone. The elders stepped forward. The trial is fulfilled, Elder Vina announced. Help was given, but strength was shown. The law is honored. Miari, daughter of the Sky Clan, you are accepted. Cheers broke out among the people. Miari's eyes shone with pride. Alex smiled. You did it. She turned to him. We did it. As The crowd celebrated. Mayari's mother came forward and hugged her daughter tightly. Other clan members greeted Alex with curious but respectful nods. For a moment, he didn't feel like a stranger anymore. That evening, a small fire was lit in the center of the village. Music played, and food was shared. Alex sat with Mayari, watching the stars rise above the trees. "You still want to explore this world?" she asked him. He nodded. "Always, but now maybe with a local guide." Mayari smiled. "Then stay for a while. There's still more to see." And deep in the night, far from home, Alex felt something new. Not just survival, not just adventure, but friendship, and something close to belonging. The sun rose slowly over the village, casting golden light across the grass and huts. The celebration had lasted late into the night, but the village was already waking. People moved through the paths, gathering water, preparing food, and tending to the morning tasks. Life on Valora Prime continued with purpose. Alex woke up in one of the guest huts. It was simple, made from strong plant fibers and smooth stone. A warm blanket had been given to him, and the soft smell of the jungle came through the window. He sat up and stretched. His body still felt tired from the long walk and the strange rituals, but his mind was clear. This place, though alien, didn't feel dangerous anymore. It felt welcoming. A soft knock came at the doorway. "Come in," Alex said. Mayari stepped inside. She wore a new outfit, clean and decorated with thin silver threads. It marked her new status as a completed trial warrior. Her face looked calm, but there was something in her eyes. Focus, maybe even excitement. "Good morning," she said. Alex smiled. "Morning. What's the plan today?" "There is one final step," she said. "A personal test. My elders accepted me, but I want to test myself." Alex tilted his head. "What kind of test?" She held up a small, flat device. On its surface, a map of the nearby jungle glowed. "There's a deeper part of the forest, wild, untouched. No one from our tribe goes there often. It's where the coil's lair came from. I want to go back, not to fight, but to face my fear." Alex stood. "And you want me to come?" "I would like that," Mayari said. "You are not just an outsider anymore. You are part of this now." He nodded. "Then let's go." They left the village quietly, carrying light packs. The jungle was thick, but the sun lit their path. Birds flew overhead, and small animals peeked out from the bushes. As they walked, Mayari spoke more about her people, their history, their beliefs, and how they learned to live with the land rather than control it. Alex listened with interest. Everything she said showed strength, not in power, but in wisdom and balance. After nearly 2 hours, they reached a wide clearing. Vines hung from tall trees, and strange flowers grew from the roots. But at the center of the clearing was something unexpected. A giant stone pillar covered in moss and markings stood like a monument. "What is that?" Alex asked. Mayari stepped closer. "It's old, very old. My people say it was left by those who came before us. It marks the place where the jungle is most wild. They say if you stand here long enough, the jungle tests your spirit." As she spoke, a sound came from the trees, a low hiss. Alex turned quickly and froze. A snake, much like the one from before, slithered into the clearing. It wasn't as big as the coil slayer, but it was still large, and it moved with slow, careful grace. Its golden eyes locked onto them. "It followed us," Alex whispered. "No," Mayari said. "It lives here. This is its home. We are the guests." Alex stayed still. The snake raised its head but didn't strike. Mayari took a slow step forward. "Stay behind me," she said softly. She dropped her pack and reached into it, pulling out a curved stick, the guiding staff used by the elders. She held it steady and began to speak in her language, using soft tones and rhythmic sounds. The snake paused. It tilted its head, watching her. Then it moved. Slowly, it coiled toward her. Mayari didn't step back. She lowered the staff and let the snake approach. It wrapped gently around her arm like the test before, but this time, the creature wasn't being controlled. It was responding to her calm, to her presence. Alex held his breath. Mayari closed her eyes and stood still. The snake stayed with her for a moment longer, then uncoiled and moved back toward the trees, disappearing without a sound. Alex walked up to her. That was amazing. Mayari opened her eyes. This time I didn't fight it. I didn't try to control it. I just stood as I am. It accepted me. Alex nodded with respect. You've changed since the day I met you. Mayari looked at him. So have you. They stood near the stone pillar for a while longer, feeling the breeze pass through the trees. No weapons, no battles, just two souls proving their strength, not to others, but to themselves. The sun hung low in the sky, painting the jungle in warm orange and red shades. The village was quieter now, with most people resting after the morning's activities. But the air felt alive with energy, as if something important was about to happen. Alex and Mayari walked back together, their steps slow and thoughtful. They passed familiar huts, greeted by nods and smiles from the villagers. The bond between the human and the alien girl had grown stronger with every challenge they faced. When they reached the center of the village, a crowd had gathered. Warriors, elders, and children all waited silently. At their head stood Elder Vina, the silver-lined leader who had judged Mayari's trial. Today, Elder Vina began, we honor two warriors. She looked first at Mayari. Mayari, you have passed the trial of strength and the binding coil. You have faced your fears and shown the courage of a true protector. The crowd cheered softly, but their eyes then turned to Alex. And you, Elder Vina said, have shown respect and bravery beyond what many outsiders possess. You came into our world not as a conqueror, but as a friend. For that, we thank you. Alex felt his cheeks warm with surprise and pride. He stepped forward. It was my honor, he said simply. Mayari smiled, her purple eyes shining. The elder continued, your bond is a sign that strength comes in many forms. Protection, trust, and friendship are as powerful as any weapon. The crowd applauded louder this time. Alex and Mayari shared a look of deep understanding. Their journey had changed not only their lives, but also how two different worlds could connect. After the ceremony, Mayari's mother approached Alex. Her smile was gentle, full of warmth. You are welcome here, she said. Our people have long needed allies. You have given us hope. Alex bowed slightly. Thank you. I hope to learn more from all of you. The day faded into evening, and a feast was prepared in the open air. Music filled the space as drums beat and voices sang, songs of ancient heroes and new beginnings. Alex sat beside Mayari, enjoying the taste of unfamiliar but delicious foods. Mayari, he said, I never thought I'd find a place like this. You and your people, you have something special? She nodded. Our world is different, yes, but we share the same heart. They talked long into the night, sharing stories of Earth and Valora Prime. Alex told her about human cities, technology, and the stars beyond their reach. Mayari spoke of her tribe's history, their beliefs, and their hopes for the future. The stars shone bright overhead. Alex felt a calm he had never known before. The fear and uncertainty of being far from home faded. Here, with Mayari and her people, he had found something important: trust, respect, and maybe even friendship that could last beyond worlds. When the feast ended, Alex and Mayari walked to the edge of the village. The jungle stretched before them, dark and mysterious but no longer frightening. Mayari, Alex said softly, thank you for letting me be part of this. She smiled. You saved me once. Now you are part of my world. They stood quietly, looking up at the stars. No words were needed, they understood. Together, they were stronger. And this was only the beginning. The days that followed felt like a dream. Alex found himself waking to the sounds of the jungle, the soft calls of birds, the rustle of leaves, and the gentle hum of life all around. Valora Prime was no longer strange. It had become a place of friendship, discovery, and hope. Every morning, Miari and Alex would walk through the village, sharing stories and learning from each other. The villagers welcomed Alex warmly, curious about his world and eager to share their own. One afternoon, Miari took Alex to a hill overlooking the jungle. From there, they could see the vast forest stretching endlessly, dotted with distant mountains. "This," Miari said softly, "is my home." Alex looked out over the green waves of trees. "It's beautiful and wild." "Yes," Miari agreed, "but it is also full of life and spirit." Alex smiled. "I never thought I would understand this world so well." "Because you listened," Miari said. "Because you did not judge." They stood in silence, the wind playing with their hair. Suddenly, the quiet was broken by a sound behind them. A group of warriors approached. They wore simple armor and carried spears and shields. At their head was Elder Vina. "We have a request," she said, looking at Alex. Alex nodded. "Anything I can do." "The tribe wants you to become an official protector," Elder Vina said. "Not just a guest, but a warrior of Valora Prime." Alex was surprised. "Me? A protector?" "Yes," Miari said. "You have shown courage, kindness, and strength. You belong here now." Alex looked at Miari, then at the elders and warriors. His heart filled with pride. This was more than he had hoped for. "I accept," he said quietly. The tribe cheered. Over the next days, Alex trained with the warriors. He learned their ways, their fighting styles, and their connection to the land. Miari was by his side, guiding and encouraging him. One evening, as the sun set in colors of purple and gold, Alex and Miari sat together near the fire. "Do you miss Earth?" Miari asked. Alex thought for a moment. "Sometimes, but now I feel like I have two homes." Miari smiled. "That is the true strength." Alex reached out and took her hand gently. "Thank you for trusting me." She squeezed his hand. "Thank you for saving me." They looked up at the stars, feeling the bond that had grown between them. In a universe full of unknowns, they had found trust. They had found friendship. And together, they were ready for whatever came next.